Guten Tag, and welcome to another exciting episode of Kazi Big Boy Trev. I am Big Boy Trev, and of course today we're heading to the city of Wolfsburg, Germany to sample this Volkswagen Tiguan Tdi. But first things first, let's take a look at the highlights of today's show.
This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we review the 2021 Volkswagen Tiguan Tdi. We analyze its cabin comfort, innovative technologies, engine performance, fuel efficiency, and of course, give its value for money proposition against its rivals, the Nissan X-Trail and the Toyota RAV4. Catch this and much more only on Kazi Big Boy Trev every Sunday at 6:30 p.m. only on KTN Home.
Hi guys, we are back with the news. We're ready to give you all the information when it comes to everything motoring. We start our first news item by taking a look at the brand new Suzuki Brezza. Now, this was launched by Suzuki by Toyota, and of course, it's a mini crossover that competes with the likes of the Hyundai Creta. Now, this particular vehicle is available right now, and of course goes for 2.6 million shillings. What does it have? I can tell you for a fact, it's very spacious. It's based on the Suzuki platform, the Ciaz, the many others that are in the family. Powered by a 1.5 liter engine, good for about 110 horsepower, and of course, excellent fuel economy, 5.6 liters per 100 kilometers, plus technology to boot. Of course, you have the capacity to do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and of course, navigation, Bluetooth, and of course, it's extremely safe. You got airbags, ABS, stability control, you name it. This particular vehicle has it. So please visit CBBT_TV for more details, or you can just head on to Toyota by Suzuki page and have a look at the Suzuki Brezza. Alright, we go all the way to South Africa, where Nissan actually did a very big media brief last week. We talked about the Nissan Next project. Now, Nissan Next project is how Nissan has restructured its corporate form and function to ensure that it remains profitable even during this time of the pandemic. Now, they have big plans for Africa, including Kenya, and they've just started assembling the brand new Nissan Navara, which we all love. Remember, it comes from a lineage from the Atoti to the hardbody and many others, and now with the brand new Navara, it expects to fight with the likes of the forthcoming Ford T6 and T7, the Amarok, and of course the brand new Toyota Hilux, boosted with power, plenty of technology, and of course very safe. So we're looking forward to that. So there's a big plan around it, and of course the introduction of a very interesting crossover. It's called the Magnite. Now, the Magnite is built for emerging markets, India, Kenya, South Africa, and Brazil, and of course it will come into this market towards the end of the year. But that said, Nissan have an exciting product, and of course we're also looking to electrify Africa. Those are the things that we've talked about, and we are sure that Nissan will give us an opportunity to sample the Nissan Leaf, coming soon to a TV screen near you. Speaking of Ford have just announced that they'll start assembly of the Ford Ranger, and of course alongside the Volkswagen Amarok, which they share the same platform at their Silverton plant. Remember, CBBT was there at Silverton to see how they build these particular vehicles. Then we actually saw the plans were in place to begin the assembly of these two pickups. Now, what is more exciting is this brand new generation is based on the T6 platform, which is hugely successful. Why? Because number one, 5-star safety rating, very important, capable 4x4, and of course the powerful 2-liter bi-turbo engines that we've seen on the Ford Ranger, Raptor, and many others that are coming into line. Not only that, Ford's partnership with Volkswagen also bring brand new engines. There's talk of having a 3-liter V6 4-stroke diesel, of course 600 Newton meters of torque, putting it right at par with premium brands that have those V6 diesels. So we can't wait for that, and of course we expect that Ford is going to make this car look very butch and very stunning. But the question is, do you reckon the Ford Ranger will look far much better compared to the Volkswagen Amarok, which they're all based the same? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you the feedback next week. Welcome to our social media feedback segment, where we talk about everything to do with the Kazi Big Boy Trev show. Every Sunday after the show, we normally tell you to check and go to our social media pages and tell us about the show. So we have a lot of feedback based on last week's episode, where we did and reviewed the Toyota Prado VXL, and I can tell you from the reaction, this car must have wowed many people. So I'm going to go straight and jump into the reactions. And the first thing that I'd probably say is a guy called Nicholas Maina. And he says, the Prado looks nice from the outside, but has plenty of old tech and interior for a top-of-the-range model. Well, it is debatable because when you say old tech, this vehicle has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and MirrorLink. It's got plenty of stuff. It might not be a German vehicle, but it does have the technology that perhaps you might think it's right there. So perhaps if you watch the review closely again, you'll probably see the subtle items on it. The next person is a guy called Henry Kimani, and he says, Toyota is the king of the jungle, but the price tag, and he's put a wondering emoji. Yes, it's slightly expensive, yes, because this is a new model with new updates. So of course, obviously the price will be expensive, but as you go along, the price might be quite easier. But visit Toyota Kenya, they might give you a discount, you never know. Just say it's Big Boy Trev who sent you. The last item from another guy is called Alois. He says, I love the role play as a politician. You should do more of that. Well, thank you so much, Alois. I will be bringing more of that because I know we want to relate with each other, and I'll make sure that we have fun while doing cars with Big Boy Trev. So stay tuned. So guys, that's it from a social media platform. If you have any questions, comments, or queries, do not hesitate to write to us as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you next week with the feedback. So keep watching Cars with Big Boy Trev. Tell us about Kibo Africa and its vision for mobility in Africa.
So when it comes to mobility in Africa, of course, last mile is always a big challenge in many places, and motorcycles are perfectly geared towards supporting that last mile distribution, whether it's for people or for goods. We see so many things transported on motorcycles in Africa. We all know the crazy pictures of the Boda Boda guys carrying sofas, carrying cows, cattle. I've seen crocodiles. I don't know what I've seen so many things. So that's a very important part of mobility in let's say sub-Saharan Africa. Of course, it comes with a lot of shortcomings as well. We all know about the road safety issues around the Boda Boda industry, and we know about the quality issues with the motorcycles. And I think when we look at it, as Kibo, we want to ensure that we have good, reliable motorcycles on the road that are affordable to as many people as possible, and that can get people and goods to those places where they need to go safely.
Looking forward towards the new year and the new season, what new products are you planning to bring into the country? Or rather unveil to the country, because they are made here in Kenya?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, awesome. We plan on bringing a more affordable version of our current K160 bike this year. That is to replace the K150 that we had in the past, which was priced at 199,000 Kenyan shillings. That was our starting model. That was the flagship of the day, but we've outgrown it. Our products have grown, have improved, but we miss a product in that price range right now. So that's the first thing to solve. Then the second thing to solve is an even more affordable bike that's going to range from, let's say, anywhere in between 159 to 179, thereabouts.
Nice.
We want that very passionately because we have good products. We have a very good after-sales network right now. We can really support our customers so well, but our bikes are not affordable to most people in Kenya. I don't think we'll be a mass market brand. I don't see it that way. But there's a lot of informal businesses and also actually quite some Boda Boda guys, SMEs who are quite serious about their business, and they're actually looking for a bike that is maybe priced a little bit higher.
Right.
But now when you start using it, it's actually a lot more affordable because you're not replacing parts all the time. Your consumption is low. You have good uptime, all those things. So that's going to be the next step. So K160 at a different pricing, and also now probably not this year, but hopefully within 2 years' time, a more affordable Kibo bike.
So, you've had the likes of the Toyota RAV4, the Nissan X-Trail, and the Honda CR-V in your stable, but you want to upgrade your wife to something that's more premium, more German, something that will speak volumes, something that has frish, and of course, be able to carry her luggage. her shopping, carry the kids in safety, and of course, present that image. So today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we introduce to you the Volkswagen Tiguan, straight out of Wolfsburg and Veka. But first, let's take a look at the highlights of this particular vehicle, by taking a look at the design phase of the Volkswagen Tiguan. So we start this particular review by taking a look at the design phase of this particular vehicle. We know that Volkswagen are very conservative when it comes to styling, but they have this young, modern, chic, conservative design that allows this car to become very premium. So as you can see, the grille, you do have horizontal slats that actually cover that, and it's got plenty of chrome, because when you add chrome, the vehicle becomes premium. You have the big Volkswagen logo, of course, and right here you can see the dual tone bumper. So right below it is a dark bumper, dark treatment, and of course it's matte. And then of course you do have this whole chrome grille extending all the way to the wraparound rectangular headlamps that have LEDs as signature daytime running lights. I can tell you, the look of this car during at night makes this particular vehicle have that fresh we keep talking about on Cars with Big Boy Trev. Not only that, the dark part, the matte finish, gives this car that athletic feel. Remember, the TDI is a powerful engine, plenty of grunt, plenty of torque, and we're going to find out later on. So the side profile, again, as you can see, subtle design but premium courtesy of Volkswagen. Do you have this double haunch line that runs across all the way to the back panels, again denoting that somebody in Wolfsburg was involved, a young person who's creative and of course knows how to get that subtle yet premium look in the Volkswagen Tiguan. We are at the back, and as you can see, typical Volkswagen design. You do have that design. It's an edge, sort of like a coupe, like a hatchback design, but it's a bit upright. Again, means that there's plenty of space in the boot. We're going to review that later. But the rear panel is where I'm quite excited, because Volkswagen have actually subtly put the word T on the rear light cluster. So as you can see, when you switch on the lights, there's a T on the reflector. It gives this car that fresh we keep on talking about on Cars with Big Boy Trev. And of course, right below it, you do have the Tiguan badge, and of course the 4Motion badge, showing that it can do a little bit of off-roading, because it's got 4-wheel drive as standard in this particular vehicle. Now the lower part of the bumper as well gets the same treatment as the front side. You do have two-tone colors, or the white, which is the body color, and of course the plastic grey cladding that gives this car that off-road look. And of course the fish you keep on talking about on Cars with Big Boy Trev differentiates it extensively from the Japanese, creating its own unique identity. So you've seen from the walk around the design perspective of the Volkswagen Tiguan, subtle yet classic, yet premium. Does that translate to the inside? Step inside and have a look at the cabin of this particular vehicle, and I can tell you from the word go, it speaks premium. It's German, so definitely premiumness is part of the name of the game. So look at the dashboard. Of course, placed further away from the dash from the people to create an illusion of space. This is a crossover, and practicality is the name of the space. So the front passengers do have plenty of space to be in, and making the ride in the Tiguan quite comfortable and enjoyable. Now obviously, as you can see, use of soft touch plastics over here extend all the way to the dashboard, and of course you do have some brushed aluminium and steel, of course, except around the vents. And of course the highlight of this particular center console is its massive 10-inch display, color, touch. Of course, it has the capacity to actually do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, basically supporting you and your vehicle and becoming productive while on the road. And of course, it's got a premium sound system, of course 6 speakers across the cabin and a subwoofer. And not only that, you're able to connect and listen to music via either an app, so Spotify if you're tuned in, if you use MirrorLink, and of course if you have Android Auto, you're able to use different apps, Deezer, name it, you're able to listen to music. Not only that, you're able to stream quality music from your phone, and of course play music via USB port, which is supplied. And if you're in the Apple realm, then you do have an auxiliary port, so that you're able to plug in your iPad or your tablet or whatever it is that you have to listen to good sound courtesy of this audio system. Now you're able also to pair your phone as well, make calls without changing and taking your hands off the steering wheel, allowing you to be safe while on the road, and of course making you extremely practical. Right below it, you do have dual zone climate control, which comes as standard, and actually this particular car has a multi-tonic system, so you have dual zone for the front passengers and one for the rear passengers to help you ensure that you remain very, very cool, calm and collected in any situation. Tiguan, torque, 340 Newton meters. Of course, 105 kilowatts, 7-speed DSG with 4 motion. Sorry, I was doing my research on this particular vehicle, and I can tell you the cabin is very, very practical because it's got some unique innovations, like this airline style sort of table that is retractable, so that you're able to actually work or even eat while in the Volkswagen Tiguan. Long drives shouldn't be boring because you're able to do quite a lot while in the back space. And of course, not only that, you have plenty of space. Big Boy is quite comfortable. I'm 6'1", and as you can see, I have plenty of legroom. Headroom is fantastic, of course, and of course there is plenty of niceties. The seats are comfortable, as you can see, very supportive, and actually you can adjust the seats backwards, front and backwards depending on your taste and preference. So you're able to be very comfortable in the back seat of the Volkswagen Tiguan. Not only that, you can retract this center armrest if you're not having anybody in the middle, and it reveals 2 cup holders. You're able to put cup holders there, and of course when you retract it, you're able to feel free and have plenty of space. Not only that, you do have climate control for the rear passengers.
So one thing that I do love about this Volkswagen is the level of technology, and it has park assist, intelligent park assist that can actually scan an area and determine whether the vehicle can fit perfectly, and your work is basically to just control the brake. So I'm going to do that activity right now. So the first thing you do as you're driving, so I'm in an area where there's a bit of parking, so I engage that and then I put park assist, it's on. So the display comes on here and it shows me to drive ahead, which I'm going to do right now. So and then I have to indicate that I have to park this direction, so I drive slowly. So basically the vehicle is scanning the area to see if a parking is suitable for this particular vehicle. Alright, so it's telling me to stop. There's a parking right behind me, so I put in reverse, and then it tells me steer, interval, check area and vehicle around. So this is what I do. Hit the brake a bit and my work. See, look at that, look at that. My work is to modulate the steering wheel. So I'm watching the graphic, it's telling me when I'm going to park. So you can see the decreasing in size, then I just just modulating the brake. And it's telling me to come. That's a warning. Park assist comes as standard, and then sensor up the vehicle, and just let it be more again. Voila! The vehicle has parked. Telling me park assist has stopped, and of course you're able to park. You have equal distance between the 2 cars. How amazing is that? That's another reason why the Volkswagen Tiguan is probably the vehicle for you. So guys, today we are sampling the Volkswagen Tiguan Tdi Comfort Line Edition, and I can tell you for a fact that this particular vehicle impressed me. Remember when you did the all-space Tiguan with the TSI engine? I love the power and performance of that particular engine. And one thing that I know Volkswagen are good at is actually building engines that are suitable for this market. Now this particular TDI is a diesel engine, 2 liter. But I know you're asking, okay Trev, our diesel quality is not good. Well, the best news is this particular vehicle has actually been set for Kenyan conditions. It's actually built in Thika at KVM facility, and Trev is doing an amazing job trying to make sure that they follow the Big 4 agenda, which is manufacturing. So that is just one part of the story. So what kind of power does this car have? Well, you do have a 2 liter turbo, single turbo with variable geometry turbo, producing 105 kilowatts or 143 horsepower and 340 Newton meters of torque. That is sent to the 4 wheels courtesy of a 7-speed DSG gearbox. DSG in German is basically it's dual clutch. It's a very long name. Now the dual clutch works this way. Basically, there are 2 clutches. One pre-engages odd gears, one even gear. So when you pre-select one, the other clutch pre-selects 2 and waits for you to shift. When the shifting point arrives, it's seamless connectivity, so there's no loss of power and there's great acceleration. So for example, like right now, I'll put my foot down. Quick shifting goes extremely well, and that is courtesy of the variable geometry turbo that actually allows boost pressure to build up from as low as 1700 RPM and drives all the way to 4000 RPM. So you give a good stretch of torque. Now, This particular vehicle with the DSG allows us to actually give you full potential of the vehicle and still return a fuel economy figure of 5.6 liters per 100 kilometers, which is not too shabby for such a vehicle, and it's actually one of the best within this category. Now, let's talk about the handling. Now, this platform, this chassis is called the MQB platform. It's scalable architecture, probably found in the Passat, in the Jetta, in the Golf, and of course all the handling characteristics are similar. But this one has been tuned to be a soft road, and of course it's been hardened to ensure that when you're going off-road, you're able to enjoy the 4Motion technology that comes as standard. Speaking of that, this particular vehicle has up front here of McPherson struts, the back multi-link rear suspension with both long stroke technology that allows you to explore tarmac or off-road situations with the 4Motion in control. That is something that I do love. Now, speaking of that, the steering is sharp as well, so beefs up at high speed, but when you want to park like in a shopping center or in a parking, it becomes very light. So ladies, if you're watching, you're able to park the Tiguan quite well. So perhaps this is the car for you if you're making that decision to buy an executive soft roader. Now, let's talk about safety critical aspect in this particular category. This car has a mixture of active and passive safety features. So from the likes of ESP, which is an umbrella body that controls brake assist, anti-lock braking system, electronic diff lock, which comes with 4Motion, and of course EBD, electronic brake force distribution. They all play a role in making sure that you remain safe. But in case all hell breaks loose, you can rely on the 6 airbags that are strewn across the whole cabin, and of course a 5-star passenger safety rating to ensure that impact energy is dissipated away from the passenger cell and you remain safe and mitigates injury in case you have one.
So we've had a very thrilling experience courtesy of the Volkswagen Tiguan, and I can tell you it has impressed me. Why? Number one, the powerful and torquey diesel engine. Number two, styling looks very, very good. Number three, extremely practical. Number four, the level of technology is to die for. Number five, absolute value for money. But the question still remains, can it beat the rivals? Who are the key rivals? We're going to find out much later, but we start with the price. Now, DTW, who builds this kind of thing and sells it at DTW, will sell this particular vehicle for exactly 5.1 million Kenya shillings, VAT inclusive. And it comes with a 3-year, 120,000 kilometer warranty, whichever comes first. And you can rely on the DTW extensive network across the country to maintain your Volkswagen Tiguan. Well, finally, who are the rivals in this segment? Well, we've done quite a number of them already, starting with the Hyundai Tucson, the Toyota RAV4, the Nissan X-Trail, the Honda CR-V, and plenty of others that we've done across the CBBT range. Now, I can tell you for a fact, this one gives you an absolute value for money. But do you reckon this particular vehicle is far much better biased compared to the rivals? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you with the feedback next week. Well, it's an honor. Thank you so much for joining us on Cars with Big Boy Trev. But before I leave, how do you catch Cars with Big Boy Trev after the show? So immediately after the show, you head straight out to YouTube, click and subscribe, CBBT_TV. There you'll find the season premiere and YouTube premiere of this particular episode. And then you can catch up with the rest of 100 reviews from all the cars you've done, from motorbikes to tuk-tuks to lorries to sports cars and even the Volkswagen Tiguan. All that you can find that at the home of our YouTube page, CBBT_TV. Let's engage on our social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and we'll have a good time. And of course, you're able to ask me any questions. So that's it. Thank you so much. So until next week, drive safe and be safe.